Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Will Israel demolish this Palestinian village despite international condemnation? We meet one of the activists trying to stop the IDF. The election in Brazil is getting close and the anger against one candidate is growing online and on the streets. And let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how, even the dogs. Now, top of our newsfeed, Khan Al Ahmar. It's a Palestinian village that Israel wants to destroy. And today is the day that people who live there have to leave. They were given eviction notices by Israel a couple of weeks ago. Now, there were protests against the eviction in the occupied territory over the weekend, and more protests are expected today. And people there are not giving up, despite the odds being heavily stacked against them. We spoke with one activist who's been trying to make a difference.
After I arrived in Palestine, I've been given the full Palestinian treatment by the Israelis. I've been arrested once and I got shot twice in a week. My name is Christine and I'm a Norwegian human rights activist. When I got shot the first time, I went to a small village called Kofar Kadum, where the people are demonstrating against the closure of their main road to Nablus. The soldiers started shouting at us that it was a dangerous situation.
It's dangerous here?
Yeah, because of you, you're making it dangerous for us, not them. It's dangerous if you're pointing a gun at us. Ow!
And then they fired 2 shots and the one hit me in the abdomen. They're shooting kids, they're shooting women, they're shooting civilians, and now they are also shooting human rights defenders. It's a very horrible feeling. And also to think that this happens to the villagers every Friday and every Saturday. But then I got shot again. It's a rubber bullet, but this is a rubber bullet. It's basically an iron ball with a thin layer of rubber on top of it. Then I was a bit nervous that maybe they had targeted me deliberately. So this is Khan Al Ahmar, the home of some 172 residents. Over half of them are children. And these people have lived here since the late 50s when they were displaced from the Negev desert. And they faced demolitions on several occasions, but they are fighting to stay here on their land. This is Palestine. Of course, they are surrounded by settlements. We have one up there and another one over here. So me and other activists and Palestinian activists, we've been spending nights sleeping here, waiting for the Israeli bulldozers to arrive in the morning. Right, so right next to the school area, we have the communal tent where all the activists are eating and sleeping together. Palestinians come and they set up plates on the floor here, and then everybody sits around eating together. Israel has kindly offered them to move next to a rubbish dump or a sewage plant. And naturally, they don't want to leave. This is their home. I think everyone needs to know what is happening here. I think we all know it's war crimes happening here every day. And what happens if this village is demolished? It opens for Israel to connect the settlements and basically cut across the West Bank, cutting the West Bank in two. If we let this happen, like I said, it's another nail in the coffin for Palestine, and it's Palestinian land. It's a war crime. It's a crime against international law. It's infuriating. It's infuriating that we have to stay here every night to protect something which should be protected by international law, and the international community is doing nothing.
An Egyptian woman has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for allegedly spreading fake news after she posted a video to Facebook about her experience of sexual harassment and the government's failure to protect women. Here's Karen.
Amal Fati shared her own experiences on social media about living conditions and public services in Egypt and the uninvited sexual advances towards her by a taxi driver. But what she got in return, according to international rights groups, was a harsher verdict for speaking out.
The ruling Amal Fati received today was a 2-year suspended prison sentence, a fine of $561, and a bail of $1,122 for a moratorium.
This was the post Fati made to social media in May.
On my way to the bank, the taxi driver stared at me. He adjusted his mirror to look at me, and he made disgusting comments to me. When I got to the bank, I was sexually harassed while trying to sort out a credit issue.
In the 12-minute video, she also criticized the government for its lack of progress in addressing women's issues.
Egypt is the only country that seems only to have regressed. We used to live a better life in the past.
The court convicted Fati of disseminating a video on social media to publicly incite an overthrow of the government, and for publishing a video that includes false news that could disrupt public peace and safety. In a second trial currently underway, she's accused of belonging to a banned organization. This relates to her membership of the April 6th Youth Movement, a group that organized the 2011 uprisings against then-President Hosni Mubarak. Lawmakers also recently passed a law that blocks websites considered threats to national security and monitors social media accounts with more than 5,000 followers. Analysts say the new legislation limits freedom of expression and makes Egyptians afraid to express what is on their minds.
Now, Brazilians will vote for a new president in 7 days' time, and there is one guy who's making all the headlines. Bolsonaro is an angry far-right populist, and he's leading the polls. But there's a growing movement against him gaining strength online and also on the street, as Sandra found in Salvador over the weekend.
This is being described as the Women's March of Brazil. Thousands of women across 80 different cities in the country are rallying under the hashtag Ele Now. And this has all been largely organized online. As you can see, Ele Now, the hashtag there, all of us against misogyny, racism, and homophobia. Many people here are against one man, the far-right candidate, Jair Bolsonaro. They say he's xenophobic, racist, homophobic. He has a military background, and many are uncomfortable with the fact that he has large support among the evangelical community, a conservative community that many women feel go against their rights, access to abortion, and so forth. One of the remarks that stands out for many women is that back in 2014, Jair Bolsonaro said a woman didn't deserve to be raped. But this demonstration isn't just about pure outrage. It's about mass rejection. Jair Bolsonaro has a 6-point lead ahead of any of the other presidential candidates. So if many voters can rally against Bolsonaro, he may win the first round, but he may not make it to the second round. And they're trying to stop him becoming the next president of Brazil.
And Donald Trump says he's fallen in love again. After Ivana and Melania, he now says he's fallen in love with Kim Jong-un. Yes, take a listen.
When I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll say, Donald Trump said they fell in love. How horrible. How horrible is that? So unpresidential.
Yes, we will. And those words had their corresponding reaction online. This classic meme was repurposed to feature the relevant players, and it may be the funniest version of this I've seen. Right, around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Monday. Busted. This CCTV footage seems to show a senior Pakistani official stealing a wallet from a table. The wallet belonged to a Kuwaiti diplomat. Now, the Kuwaitis were in Pakistan on a trade mission when one of them reported that his wallet had gone missing. The Pakistani official apparently denied he took it until he was confronted with this video. Unsurprisingly, the footage has been shared loads of times. That thief is now under investigation. The YouTuber Daniel Pee-wee Thomas has died. He'd been documenting his battle with lung cancer on his channel and had been urging people to get a checkup. He died over the weekend and messages of support have been flooding in. His family posted this video after his death.
35 this afternoon, he passed away, and we just wanted to let everybody know that news. And thank you all for your support over this time, and I hope it will continue. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, honestly, we really want to thank you, our entire family, Becca included.
Now, Kanye West now wants people to call him Ye. Okay. He also went on Saturday Night Live to perform some of his new low-quality songs. In one performance, he was dressed as a bottle of Perrier. He then ranted about his support for Donald Trump and peddled a conspiracy theory about how the Democratic Party wants black fathers to be on welfare. He was booed. Now, researchers in the United States have been spending their time trying to answer a question that's plagued science for millennia. Are cats any good at getting rid of rats? Akanksha has the answer.
This pizza rat became an overnight internet sensation. Wherever humans go, rats follow, infesting and creating huge colonies under metropolises. And they can be deadly. Rat bites have killed babies in Pakistan. 2 years ago, the city of Peshawar put a bounty on rats, promising 25 cents for each dead rodent. In India, a building collapsed in the city of Agra, where thousands of rats had been burrowing underground for years. Rat populations have been known to cause famines by destroying crops. The urban legend saying there's 1 rat per human in New York City has been debunked, but estimates say there are at least 2 million of them in the city. The city has launched a $32 million war plan against the rats last year. However, attempts to poison them have failed and the population multiplies fast. Rats were long thought to have arch nemesis, the feral cats. But do they really cope well with the rat menace? New research believes that may not actually be the case. Researchers planted microchips in rats living in a Brooklyn waste recycling facility to watch how they interacted with feral cats that moved into the area. The night vision cameras showed the cats barely pursued the rats. Data collected from over hundreds of videos over 79 days showed the cats only chased down a rat a grand total of 3 times. This video from the research shows an unsuccessful hunting attempt. One possible reason? The size of rats. Cats don't seem to be keen on hunting rats that weigh over 300 grams, and some rats can weigh up to half a kilo. Earlier research has revealed similar results in the UK. And that actually puts rats among some of the nature's most perfectly adapted animals. The bottom line? It's a bit of urban myth that cats keep rat numbers down. On the contrary, the tables are turning. So is this the age of the mighty rat?
And Monday's Animals Doing Stuff was not that, but this one. It starts off with a surfer girl on 4 legs. Now, don't worry, it's a contest for canines and it happens every year. In California, girls and boy dogs are allowed to compete. God only knows why they think this is a good idea. And that was 4 Beach Boys songs if you were counting. That's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Khan Al Ahmar. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.